Hello, my name's Sophie Wright. I'm a professional chef and food writer, as well as the Easy Cheesy Chef Ambassador. There are over 1,000 different varieties of French goat's cheese, and in front of me here on my board I have just a few of those. They range in all different shapes and sizes, from a large log to a smaller log that's been matured in ash, to a pyramid shape, to a bigger pyramid, to ones that are slightly more matured and have a stronger flavour and texture. You can get really lovely soft cheeses, or ones that are more crumbly inside because they are slightly older and they've been matured. So it's really down to your taste. Now, chèvre or French goat's cheese is a wonderful ingredient and great thing to have in your fridge at home. And lots of different ways of cooking with it. I often use chèvre to jazz up different recipes, and I always have some in my fridge at home to whiz up a quick meal when I come home with nothing else in the fridge. All of these cheeses are fantastic on a cheese ball, but are also wonderful to cook with. And I've created some recipes on our website, the Easy Cheesy Chef website, that will show you a few examples of these. So this is a French goat's cheese camembert. They come in boxes wrapped in some paper or some cellophane, and you can bake it in the box if you like and just scoop out the middle. It's got a very mild, creamy texture to it, and it melts beautifully. So great baked whole, or it's lovely just as it is with some nice fresh apricots or some figs. Also lovely just cut into chunks and put on something hot, which is very similar to one of the recipes that I've created. It just melts perfectly and it's very gooey inside. It's quite a mild cheese, so not a scary goat's cheese, not particularly a goaty one. So if you're a newcomer to French goat's cheese, then this is a good one to start with. I'm going to show you a recipe now that uses French goat's cheese camembert, and I'm going to pair that with some sweet potatoes, some prosciutto ham, some red chilli and some rocket. So the ingredients I have to use are obviously the French goat's cheese camembert. I've got some prosciutto or Parma ham or Serrano ham or wherever you have available to you. Some sweet potatoes, which I've just scrubbed the outside of using a scourer, so you don't need to peel them. Some cumin, ground, and some chili flakes, some lovely peppery rocket, and also some fresh chilies, 1 or 2, depending on how brave you are. Right, I've cleared down my workspace and I'm going to show you the first part of this recipe, which is preparing the sweet potatoes. These cook a lot quicker than normal potatoes because of the sugar in them. They caramelise a lot quicker, and that speeds up the cooking process. Just with a sharp knife, cut them in half and then into quarters. And then I'm going to cut each quarter in half again. So, bring your bowl over and just put your wedges into your bowl, because now we're going to season these. So I've got some lovely cumin and some chili flakes, salt, pepper, and this recipe is great with normal potatoes as well, or butternut squash. So now that I've put a good glug of olive oil, just turn the potatoes around in the bowl just to make sure that everything's well coated with all of those spices. So those are all well coated. I've just lined a baking tray with some parchment paper. You don't have to do that if you've got a non-stick tray. Preheat your oven to about 190 degrees. So pop them into the oven for sort of 20 to 25 minutes. Do check them halfway through, and if they need turning over, then do that. And you'll know when they're cooked, because if you put a little knife in and it comes away easily, then they're ready. Okay, so now our sweet potatoes have had about 20-25 minutes in the oven. You can see that they're cooked, and at this stage we're going to incorporate the cheese into the dish. So here I've got a French goat's cheese camembert. It's got a very mild, creamy flavour, which works really well with the sweet potato, and it's also got a great melting quality. So as I cut it up and lay it over the hot sweet potatoes, it's all going to melt and go gooey and lovely on the outside. So I need to just cut this. Now you can bake it whole, but I've actually decided to cut it into wedges, and I'm going to scatter these wedges amongst the cooked sweet potato. As the camembert melts, it's going to pick up a lovely bit of cumin and some chili flakes along the way and absorb all those lovely flavours from the sweet potato. Again, just a little bit of pepper. I'm not going to add any more salt at this stage. Good drizzle of olive oil. And then this needs to go back into your preheated oven literally for 5 or 6 minutes. It might not even take that long if your oven's really hot. Just until the cheese is melting. Into the oven. between 4 to 6 minutes. And while that's doing that, I can get on with chopping my chilli. This just adds a bit of fresh heat to the dish. So we're just going to chop this into a little fine dice. And that's it. Put that into your bowl. Let's just check that our camembert is melted, which it has. Bubbling. So that's what you're looking for there. You want the cheese melted all over the tray, some of it over the sweet potato, some of it around it, because we're going to spoon all that out. It's really important to serve this warm because obviously you can see how lovely and runny that cheese is. In our chilli bowl, add your rocket. So olive oil and balsamic vinegar, a couple of teaspoons worth. And just give that a good coating so you get those lovely flecks of red chilli in your rocket, like that. And serve the rind as well because that's got beautiful flavour. The more mature your camembert, the better the flavour in the rind. And then we bring in our prosciutto and just sort of tear it over, lay it on top of your sweet potato and your goat's cheese camembert. And then finish it off with a bit more of your rocket and your chilli. And then we have it. There's our French goat's cheese camembert salad with prosciutto, chilli and cumin. For more delicious French goat's cheese recipes, go to our website www.frenchgoatscheese.com.